So we're on Duick 2, amazing historic boat with her new skipper, Loick Peyron.
Historic one too.
Historic, yes, another historic skipper. We'll just have a quick look around here. This is properly a classic boat in ocean racing terms. Proper bunks, a bit of wood. You have wood to touch when you say touch wood?
When you say touch wood, you're lucky here because there is only wood.
There is only
plywood. Yeah. This is a plywood hull.
Yeah.
A bit of steel on the frames.
How much is original? Because she got sort of.
In fact, the boat was built in 1964. 3 and 4 launched in a few months before the start.
Yeah.
In 1964, then win this race, crossed again 2 or 3 times. The rig was changed to a schooner one. A lot of stuff. They were doing a lot of stuff as a laboratory for Duick 3 a few years after. And then the boat was sold to l'École Nationale de Voile. Beginning of 70s maybe, and used by the École Nationale de Voile in Quiberon during a few years. Then on the shore, then mainly the problem was that the plywood, the glue, at this time the glue between the layers became powder, which was not very nice. So that was a delamination of the plywood. So they decided to rebuild it in 1993, I think. So they launched it again with Eric Tabarly and all the old crew at this time in 1993. And since, she's sailing every year, all the time, as a school, as a sailing school.
Brilliant, yeah. And so how much of the boat is original then? Because you've got new sails, obviously, the mast...
Oh yes, the mast is the original one. The mizzen one is not. The mizzen one is a little taller than at the origin. The sails are the same, but new for sure. Same hook system, same on the sails, the set I've done, which is new. I've done it with exactly the same shape, the same half size, the same couture, sewing, everything, the same hooks. Yeah, I want to respect a bit history.
Yeah.
And then inside, this chart table, the very famous chart table, which is the swinging one, you know that.
Gimbals, yeah.
All the Tabarly's boats were like that. I'm not sure that was an invention of Tabarly because it was already done before. But that's very useful.
And I was reading the original boat had a seat from a Harley Davidson.
Which might be still the case.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it looks like. But you had another little Harley Davidson for the kitchen.
Okay.
You can see that on the pictures on my book, which is Z-Book.
Z-Book, yeah, okay.
And then the keel is the same, original rudder stock is the same. Piece of wood somewhere here, but not the plywood, the hull, everything. It's from 93, but exactly the same. A little heavier than it was, for sure, because you have an engine. He had an engine, a little generator, but not propeller and everything.
Yeah.
And he had a big radio on the back. In fact, I just discovered this book that he used it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we are all thinking that Tabarly never used any kind of radio, which is not far from the truth, but the first year he was using the radio.
Oh, was he? Okay.
One time.
Just one.
He said hello and it's not working. Okay.
Fantastic. And have you had to go back to school to learn how to sail this?
Hopefully not. A bit of it, at least, because my choice is to do it as close as possible to cross, again, as close as possible like he did 52 years ago, and like I've done 30 years ago on my mini Transat and the second Atlantic crossing. That means what? With chart paper, with the sextant here, which is the last one produced in France, and the safe steering system on the back. I have no electric system, only electric pilot. So yes, you need to be back to school, but I...
Do you know how to use the self-steering?
Oh yes, hopefully yes. Very well, I should say. Yeah.
And is that the original system which he used?
Not the same system, the same
Similar,
concept, but not the same. Hopefully not, because he broke it 3 days after the start.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
But the concept of the wind vane, which was with the axis horizontal like that, was invented by a French engineer, Giannoli, for Eric in '64.
Wow.
Before that, when you see Chichester boat on Gyptemos, all the vanes were pivoting on the vertical axis. And so you need a big, huge sail on the back with reef in them. They had reefs. On this system, you need a very small one, which is super sensitive.
Okay, so it's more like a trim tab sort of thing.
And then you're using your speed with a little kind of a rudder, which is not a rudder, connected to this vane, and transmitting the power of your speed to your tier. which I love it because I've done my two first transatlantic crossing like that. I even done my first Figaro race like that. The first Figaro I've done in 1980, we had self-steering system
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Fantastic.
With Jean-Luc Cam and all these good guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got two spinnaker poles. Is that one
Yes.
per spare, or do you use them both?
No, that's very useful on a
Good-
boat
good
like
swing.
that, which you can carry a spinnaker. I do have two spinnakers, but I've done. I know Eric did that too. On the same forestay, I can hoist at the same time one Genoa on one side and the Yankee at the same time. So the hooks are a little offset like that, and so you have to hook the two sides one by one, and you hoist the two sides at the same time, and you can have the two booms one on each side. It's exactly the way we were doing during many years. All these boats were using that. We call in French that the trinquette jumelle, the twin staysails.
Yeah.
On cruising boats, that's the way a lot of hundreds of people are crossing the Atlantic still today, and that's very, very stable. On a boat like that,
And you can go dead downwind, obviously.
you go dead downwind,
Yeah.
because that's not a boat which is accelerating, as we all know, because of the shape of the hull. Each time you are a little faster, you sink. That's the only thing you can do. And it's rolling quite a lot. So that's very good. I've done it as a test, and it's working very well. Or a spinnaker if you want to steer.
And it's quite interesting looking at the hull shape. And the hull is very narrow, but it has the flat sides, like which is, if you look at the Class 40s or
Exactly the same.
Immoca, this sort of gone back to that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite funny, isn't it?
Well, the big improvement or step he done with this boat in 1964 when he designed and built it with Gilles Constantini, a French builder in La Trinité, is that they've done it long compared to anything. But there was not too much reference at this time. Just 4 years before, the first transatlantic with Chichester, and then in 1964. But it was quite long and super light compared to the main. That's the main thing. That was not the first boat in plywood, for sure. That was not the only one at the start in 1964, and a lot of other ones were in plywood, mainly the Multihulls, the first trimarans to try to cross. I'm not sure any of them finished, but maybe. I need to read that again. And now the good thing is, the main thing was to divide the very famous big sail area at this time. Everybody was saying that. And one thing which it's quite clear that one thing he did was really impressive for a lot of people having a look at the start at this time was that this guy hoisted his spinnaker on the starting line. Wow, that was the story of the day.
Really fantastic.
Yeah. Which was not easy at this time. A lot more difficult than today because the winch was not a winch, the halyard was not a halyard, that was the wire one, the cannon. And then clack, 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 that was a little goyo, the very famous
ratchet,
one on which you were sure to break your arm one day.
Yeah, when it went.
Yeah. Clack, 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 clack.
Bang!
So you had to hoist it super quickly, which is not exactly easy. The ropes were not so easy. That was the old one.
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
that, yes. All the ropes on the boat were like that.
Yeah.
So now for sure it's going to be a lot easier for me.
So you're not wearing 1960s oilskins?
No, I don't know how to push the bouchon trop loin. Push the comment on dit à bouchon? I don't know.
The envelope.
Yeah. No.
No, okay.
To be frank, I asked Jacqueline Tabarly, Eric's wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And asked her, do you have maybe an old one?
But oh dear, she didn't.
And hopefully she say yes, but I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, and you got quite an interesting system for the runners. I think you got which is from classic boats, isn't it? I mean, I've seen that on classic boats before.
Yes, on classic boats. Yes, you had that on Requin, even les Dragons. I'm not sure.
Dragons, yeah, okay.
On a lot of boats like that. Yes, that's a clever one. On Stars, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's true.
And so that's just a big leverage like that. You have a little slider inside, connected to the runner, so you can have a lot of slack. And then by the time you do that, the little slider is coming back. You can adjust a little pin to adjust the tension you want to finish with. And because the axis of rotation is a little higher than the axis of the runner itself, it's stable that way. So each time it's hitting the deck like that. You need to be a little careful. At this time, in 1964, you had the two runners for the backstay, for the
The main
for the
side.
stay,
Yeah.
for sure, but also the two back stays.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he was using mise en stay sail, and to have it in good shape, he had to lower the lever,
Yes,
the
yeah.
backstay, which is not anymore the case now.
Okay. So you don't use mise stay sails?
Yes, I
You
do,
do, okay,
with
yeah.
a lot of slack
I see. Yeah.
on the left.
Oh, cool.
Which is good.
How much time have you been sailing this then? Have you been out a lot?
No.
or- Oh, really? Okay.
No. I've sailed for the first time 2 years ago for the 50th anniversary
Yeah.
for la Revue Bateau in France. I immediately felt that the rudder was not exactly good, and then some would change. And then by the time the story came back again a year ago, then we have quite a lot of job to do this winter, especially in the rudder. And then, no, just launched the boat, Trinité, Le Pouliguen, or Piriac, you know, the place I live in Brittany. Back to La Trinité one day, alone, a little, alone I've done maybe 60 miles.
Oh, really? Okay.
No more than that, that's fine.
Fantastic.
Hopefully I had comment ça s'appelle, j'ai eu une dérogation
Yeah.
to not qualify.
Yes, I think they could probably let you off, can't they?
Yeah, maybe not the boat, but myself, they say yes.
Yeah. And obviously, we were talking about this the other night. You first did the 2-star here in '81.
Yes.
Then you did the Oscar in '84, and the whole race is sort of a completely different beast now, isn't it? I mean, because back then it was sort of much more about adventure, and today it's much more about racing, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that right? Is that fair?
Yes, for sure. In '81, when we were here with Bueno, my brother, on jazz, that was already a victory to be here, you know, at least to reach the start. And then, and we came back home 2 or 3 days after the start. We broke the main, not front beam. And in '84, it was another victory to be here on a small cat, 50 cat. And I lost the mast a few hours after the start. All right. Come back in '88, and then that was a little better with Lada, my foiler, with the T-rudder.
Yeah.
In fact, the first T-rudder.
It was, yeah.
Which ever crossed the Atlantic, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, because we've cut the boat in the front and on the back.
Yeah, to make it 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and every year it's a little better
Yeah.
in terms of preparation, because you have a little team. And is it less adventure? Yes, maybe, because adventure is a bit of a poetic and gypsy style, maybe,
Yeah.
which is not exactly the case today. Nowhere, even
No.
here.
Yeah.
Even I'm alone, or my good friend Jean-Baptiste helped me, and the guys. The beauty of this story for me is to prepare it myself. Hopefully we have good friends and Suaz and a little group like that, but just friends, I should say. We are not walking together, we are living together.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly the same. And I love to sew a bit of a leather somewhere and to...
Oh, really? Okay. So
Yeah. I've done quite a lot of job like
you're
that.
becoming a classic boat sailor.
Yes. But that's a pleasure.
No, sure. Yeah.
That's also something I was looking for.
Yeah. But have you still got the yellow trimaran?
No.
Yeah, it's gone.
No, sure
No.
not, because she's waiting. She's waiting for me.
Oh, she is.
The poor little lady. The yellow lady is in La Trinité.
Yeah.
The plan was, as you know, to do it a few years ago. But no, for sure, that's the second part of the story.
So 4 years time, maybe.
Both of them are really linked together, because I never said with Tabarly, but we are sharing some victories on this particular race. But I've sailed up with Mike, who is a lot more my Jedi master than Eric was.
Yeah.
But both of them are super important for me. So this year that's the Transat as a tribute to Eric. In 2 years' time, it's going to be the Route du Rhum as a tribute to Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be a nice. I call it sailing legends.
Perfect. And at the complete opposite extreme, you're still working at Artemis Racing.
Yes. So next week, I'm not going to be with them in New York, but I will be with them again in Chicago, and then in June, just after that, and before and after, but mainly after, in Bermuda. Back to Bermuda. Oh yeah.
And what is your role with them these days?
A bit of everything. I that's my big specialty, is that I'm a generalist, and they know that, and I love to be like that. Hopefully, in a team, you don't need too much people like me, because that's a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
But the way I love to be, I'm attracted to any kind of problem, of stories, from the technical area to the communication to the human area, and so I'm kind of a test pilot. I used to be, which was quite cool. The first flying session on the turbo 45 turbo, I had the chance to be at the helm a year ago now, but hopefully we have better helmsmen than me. Means that they are very, very good.
They must be very, very good.
They are
for
super
sure.
good. They must be, which is the case, and that's a very nice team. Perth is doing a tremendous job, and all the guys, and that's a pleasure to share that with them. But then I don't want to be 100% involved. My value, I should say, is because I'm grabbing external data. Even here, I'm still working for the cup. That's it's not maybe easy to understand, but I know what I mean.
So you're still getting email from me and
No, I don't want.
no email on the race.
No. My position right now is a luxury one.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Which means no link.
It's true. So no weather.
No news. Good
no
news.
weather. No nothing.
No weather for sure.
Yeah.
No weather. Nothing. I would I will try to share with you guys. I mean, with
So you can send.
I can send. I can receive.
Okay.
Also, but I don't want to. But I can. But mainly by text.
No, sure. Okay.
Not too much pictures. Maybe some little drawings.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm doing. I've done some little.
Oh, brilliant.
Some
Okay.
little drawings.
No, sure. Yeah. And it's kind of odd. So it's a sort of general multi-hull question. It's almost become like offshore boats are trimarans and inshore boats are catamarans. Is that realistic, or is it just the way it is?
That was the way. That was not. Yes, that was the way a long time ago. We were talking about that since a long time. Yes, should say yes. Well, if you want to fly, if you want to be alone on a boat, the best answer is still the trimaran for a lot of reasons. Because everything is concentrated somewhere. You have one main hull and two something else. On a cat, that's the problem. You have to double everything or to create something in the middle, which is not far to be a hull. So
so it is sort of true then that this inshore and with crew, a catamaran is.
And a trimaran is more or less a little heavier than a cat. It's quite easy to understand. So for any kind of inshore, or not only inshore, but fully crewed flying stuff, flying sessions, a cat today seems to be okay for racing. But I'm not sure that's the good answer for not cruising, but that's an area on which I'm thinking a lot since many years, is to try to share the flying feeling with everyone. I'm not talking with sailors, but everyone. Like a land cart. It's easy. You can have everybody on the land cart and he's going to sail or to drive. I would like to share like that. And then the cat is not a good answer too. So you need to be back to something. And I'm not sure you can divide so easily. But it's more alone or not than inshore and
offshore. Okay, that's a good point. And you must be getting very jealous of all the new old teams and the foiling technology, which is in the offshore.
Foiling technology, which is going to be the future for sure. But no, the way that I've just visited Massive this morning. And I've already seen before, but the main thing is the way. The
comfort
of the covering.
The saloon.
That's very nice.
It is fantastic, isn't it?
But on the Alboca, I was one of the first ones with Gitana to do that here in 2008 when I won the last one. But with my big covers like that. And for sure, that's the only way to be efficient is to protect yourself in many ways. And that's very nice. But not only the protection, the fact that the tiller is not far from the winch, which was not the case on the big monk pop during the last drum race. That was quite crazy.
No, sure.
I was running all the time. That was crazy.
Do you think you will ever go back to a big offshore program like that?
I'm still working with the Bank Popular team.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, helping them to define what's going to be the team for Armen for sure. And I will be lucky enough to sail with them.
Brilliant. Okay.
I hope so. At least for some test as a test pilot.
Look, thank you very much indeed. A great pleasure. We wish you the best of luck on your epic voyage.
Yes. Merci.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.